Okay, so in this video we will start with module 3. Okay, the first part of module 3, inverter. Okay, so if you consider inverter as a circuit, okay, inverter. Okay, so this is inverter circuit. Now the input to the inverter, okay, the input to the inverter is normally a DC value. Okay, a DC value. Okay, it could be a battery or it could be a voltage source. Okay, but it will be a DC value, and the output of the inverter okay, will be a AC value. Okay, so if you want to represent it graphically, okay, if this is your graph, okay, this is the voltage and let us say this is the time, then the DC value will be somewhat positive like this. Okay, it may be some voltage, okay, V1. Okay, some voltage V1 is the positive DC voltage, that could be the input. The output will be a AC value. Now when you say AC value, what is expected? Okay, what is expected is that with respect to your common point, let us say this is my 0 reference, AC value, when you say, the first thing that you understand is a sinusoid. Okay, sinusoid signal. But normally the direct output of an inverter may not be a pure sinusoid. Okay, may not be a pure sinusoid. You will get shapes like this. Okay, it could be like this. So it is going positive, then it is going negative, again it is going positive, and then again it is going negative. Okay, this could be, this is also AC signal. Okay, this is also AC signal. Okay, so how do you identify if it is AC? Okay, it has with respect to the common point, it has to go positive, then it has to go negative, again it has to go positive and negative. Okay, so if it is happening like this, then you can say that it is a AC signal. Now for inverter circuits, okay, for inverter circuits, you will get square waves and quasi square waves, or you can say they will be containing harmonics. Okay, you'll get shapes like this. With respect to time, you'll get shapes like this, like a triangular waveform. Okay, you will not get a pure sinusoid. Okay, if you want to get pure sinusoid, you have to have extra circuitry. Okay, and it will add to power dissipation. Okay, many concepts are there. Okay, but for our understanding purpose, okay, what we will see is, we will see circuit, okay, that is converting a DC value, okay, that is going to convert a DC value into AC value. Okay, and the type of AC that we will see is a square wave like this. Okay, which is going alternate positive and negative. Okay. Okay, so next thing we will see is a circuit. Okay, we will see a half bridge circuit first. Okay, half bridge. Okay, half bridge inverter. Okay, half bridge inverter. Okay, and the type of the load that we will see is a resistive load. Okay, first we will see a resistive load. Okay, so it is a half bridge inverter resistive load. Okay, and again it is a single phase. Single phase means you will get only one signal. Okay, so it is assumed that it is signal phase. Okay, I will write here signal phase. Okay, so the first circuit that we will see is a single phase half bridge inverter. Okay, with a resistive load. Okay, so this is the first topic. Okay, so first we will try to draw the circuit for that. Okay, so what we will do, we will take a voltage source, okay, like a battery. Okay, this is a battery. Okay, then what we will do is we will take a switch. Okay, we will take a switch and then we will connect our load here. Okay, our load is resistive for this case, so we will connect it like this, and this will be my common point. Okay, here at this point is my common point. Okay, so this is my switch. Let us say name of my switch is S1. This is my resistive load. Let us say I will name it as R1, and this is some voltage V1. Okay, so what we will do is we will try to understand the waveform for this. Okay, so at the input side, okay, this is my input side here. Input, okay, is my V1. So V1 is a battery. So the if you say it is perfect battery, okay, so it will maintain its voltage level. Okay, at V1. Okay, next on the output side, if you see output, I am going to consider. Okay, now if you see, this is positive of the battery, this is negative of the battery, so current is going to flow like this, right? So you can say there is a voltage that will appear across this resistance R1, okay, whenever you close the switch S1. Okay, whenever you close the switch S1, what will happen is you will get a current through the circuit, and whatever is the voltage across V1, that will appear across R1. If my switch is open, okay, if my switch S1 is open, then there is no current, okay, and then there will be no voltage across my resistance, okay, because there is no current. So on the output side, okay, output side means the voltage across the resistance, okay, you can say VR. Okay, here VR you can say, okay, VR is the voltage across this resistance. So what you will have is when the switch is closed, so let us say if this time, okay, this is time here t, so for this much amount of period the switch, let us say S1 is open. Okay, if my switch is open, then there is no current flow, and if there is no current flow, there will be no voltage which will appear across the resistance. So at this much time my voltage VR is 0. Okay, let us say this is value is 0. Okay, then for another time period, okay, for the next time period, let us say my value or my S1 switch is closed now. Okay, now it is closed. So when I close my switch, okay, when I close the switch S1, what will happen? Current will flow, and the voltage across the battery will appear across your resistance. Okay, so you will have some voltage here. Okay, you will have some voltage, okay, which will be very close to V1. Okay, now I am saying it will be very close to V1. Why? Because there will be some voltage drop that will happen across the switch S1. Okay, so it will be reduced, somewhat reduced. Okay, because there will be a voltage drop across the switch, and the remaining voltage will appear across the resistance. Okay, now this cycle you can repeat. Again you can open the switch, okay, again you can close the switch. Okay, so you will get a waveform like this. Okay, so what you can observe here is for the first, let us say t1 amount of time, I don't have any voltage across the resistance. Then for t2 I have a voltage. Then again for t1 I don't have a voltage. Again for t2 I have a voltage. Okay, and how am I deciding t1 and t2? By keeping my switch on and off, okay, or open or closed. Okay, so one thing which you can say here is you can decide on the duty cycle of your output waveform. Okay, the voltage across this VR, okay, you can see it is changing from 0 to positive value, 0 to positive value. Okay, so you can say you can decide on a duty cycle by changing the value of t1 and t2. Okay, where t1 is the time for which S1 is open and t2 is the time for which S1 is closed. Okay, now here I am only getting value or the voltage across this resistance from 0 to positive. Okay, I am not getting any negative value or the value which is lower than my reference voltage or 0. Okay, if I want to get that, what I have to do is I have to connect one more supply, okay, and one more switch. Okay, so that we will see now. Okay, so here what I'll do, I will again create the same circuit as top side. Okay, one battery, and there is one switch. Okay, and then there is my load. Okay, so here let us say this is V1, and here you have switch S1 and resistance R1. Okay, this is only resistive load. If you have a different type of load, okay, normally you will have a inductive load. If it is inductive load, then you have to change it again. So here a common point is there. Okay, common point means with respect to this I am measuring all other my voltages. Okay, now again I will connect a battery here. Okay, and then one more switch I will add on this side. Why am I adding one more battery and one more switch? Is because I want to get a value, okay, or the output voltage which is going positive, then go to 0, then go negative, and again go to 0, again go positive, like that. Okay, to get that waveform we are inserting one more battery and a switch. Okay, so you have V2 here, let us say. Okay, and then this is switch S2. Now here what we will do is we will try to keep the value of V1 and V2, okay, the two batteries same. Okay, by keeping V1 and V2 same, and by taking S1 and S2 same type of switches, okay, we will be able to maintain symmetry for the positive cycle and the negative cycle. Okay, we will be able to maintain symmetry for the positive and the negative cycle, okay, by keeping the components same. Okay, so here let us say my voltage, here it is DC, right, so it will be constant here. Here also you can say, okay, now here if you consider 0 point, okay, for V1 it is positive with respect to your V1, okay, positive with respect to the common point, okay, V1 is positive with respect to common point, whereas if you see V2, okay, it is negative with respect to the common point. Okay, so that is one thing you have to observe. The next is the direction of the current. Okay, the direction of the current, so I will just use the color. Okay, so here when I close my switch S1, the direction of the current, okay, let us say if this is my common point, let us say C, and if this is my, let us say, output VR, okay, or you can say the node name you can give as A, let us say A. Okay, so it is going to go from A to the common point. Okay, when I close my switch S1. Okay, but what happens when I close my switch S2? Okay, when I close my switch S2, is that because this voltage source is like this, okay, V2 is connected like this, the current is going to flow like this. Okay, so the direction of the current because of the voltage V2 and the direction of the current because of voltage V1 are opposite to each other, okay, across the load R, okay, across the load R1, you can see. So this one thing you have to remember. So the voltage that is developed because of V1 across R1 will have, okay, will have like this. This will be positive, this will be negative. Okay, and the voltage that will is developed across the resistance because of V2. Okay, because of V2 will be something like this. Okay, here it will be positive and here it will be negative. Okay, because of the direction of the current. Okay, because of the direction of the current. Okay, so this you have to remember. Then next we will draw something. Okay, so now we will try to draw the output. Okay, this is the output across the resistance. Okay, VR. Okay, so the first duration where my S1 is, okay, open. Okay, S1 is open. What I will do is I will keep my S2 closed. Okay, this you have to observe. Okay, when my S1 is open, I have to keep my S2 closed. So if my S1 is open, what happens? There is no current because of V1. Okay, no path for the current to flow there. Okay, but S2 is closed, so there is a path for V2. Okay, or you can say because of V2 there will be a current through this second loop. Okay, and the voltage that will appear across the resistance, okay, will be negative, you can say, with respect to the common point. Okay, so you will have okay, so during this period you will have voltage like this. Okay, where S1 is open and S2 is closed, that time you will have a some negative voltage. Okay, it will be very close to V2, but because of the switch S2 there will be some voltage drop. The next, what happens, the next interval I will keep my S1 closed. Okay, I will keep my S1 closed. Okay, and S2 open. Okay, so because of that what happens, you will get a current. Okay, you will get a current that is going to flow using S1 through the load. Okay, and that voltage that is developed across this resistance will be positive, okay, with respect to the common point. Okay, so it will happen like this, again it will repeat. Okay, again you will get a signal like this. Okay, where my S1 is open. Okay, and S2 is closed. Okay, again it will repeat, positive side. S1 becomes closed. Okay, and S2 becomes open. Okay, so this is how we can understand this. Now what we will do is we will try to simulate this. Okay, we will try to simulate this to get a better understanding. Okay, so this is how we get a AC signal. Okay, this voltage you can see it is going negative, then again positive, again going negative, again positive. So it is alternating. Okay, it is alternating. So we will simulate now. Okay, so this is one tool which we have. Okay, what is called as a LT Spice. Okay, it is an open source tool. Okay, you can download it freely. We will use this to simulate the behavior of the circuit we just now saw. Okay, so I will just open a new file. Okay, new schematic. Okay, I will just save this so that we can refer it later. Okay, I will just save this as M3 test 3. Okay, now first thing what we want, okay, if you observe this one, I want a voltage sources. Okay, I want V1 voltage source, V2 voltage source, I want two switches. Okay, and then I want a resistive load. Okay, so before we build the final circuit, what we will do is we will build this circuit first. The first where there is only 0 and the positive signal. Okay, 0 and the positive signal. Okay, so we'll go back. Okay, so here what I will do is I will add a component. Okay, so there is an option here for component. If you click on this, okay, it will show you some components. Okay, so now what I will do is I will add two voltage sources. Okay, so there is one voltage source. There is one voltage source. Okay, first I will just add one. Okay, first we will simulate this, right? The top one. Okay, this top one we will first simulate. Okay, where there is a battery, a resistance, and a switch. Okay, so there is a battery here. Then I will add a resistance. Okay, there is a resistance. We'll add. Then one common point. Okay, I'll connect them. Okay, now before I connect the switch, I will just give the values. Okay, so let us say here I will give some value. Okay, for understanding purpose, I will not take more voltage. Okay, I will take some 5 volts. Okay, for understanding purpose. Okay, so this is 5 volts voltage. Here I will take some 1 kilo ohm of resistance. Okay, so how to read this? Okay, so this is a voltage source where this is positive terminal, this is negative terminal, and its value is 5 volts. Okay, and this 5 volts, you can see there is a ground, or you can say common point here. Same way you have a resistance of 1k. Now as it is, if you try to understand its behavior, okay, what we will do is we will just understand its behavior. Okay, I am going to simulate this for 20 milliseconds. Okay, simulate means I will observe its behavior for 20 millisecond of time. Okay, I will observe its behavior for 20 millisecond of time. Okay, so now there are two windows. Okay, the bottom side is a schematic, the top side is a waveform window. Okay, you can see here there is a time from 0 millisecond to 20 millisecond, right? 0 millisecond to 20 millisecond. This shows you the timing. Okay, now what voltage I want to plot, I can select, or what current I want, I can select. Okay, so if you go bottom side and click on the schematic first, okay, you can observe here that there is a change in the cursor whenever I go close to a component or a wire. Okay, so if you go close to this wire here, okay, and if you click here, okay, you can see there is a probe that is coming up. That probe indicates that you want to measure the voltage. Okay, that probe indicates that you want to measure the voltage. So if I click here, okay, if I click here, you can see here there is a change here that happens on the top side waveform window. Okay, so here it shows me that the voltage, okay, I will just pick, change the color, I suppose. Okay, so what it shows is there is a node called as N001 and the voltage across it is 5 volts. Okay, the voltage across this is 5 volts. Okay, sometimes you can change the name, okay, if you want. So what I will do is I will change the name of this node. Okay, so what I will do, I will take this label node and I will write here VR. Okay, VR. Okay, and I will name it here. Okay, so again, if we simulate, the that waveform went. Why? Because I renamed this. So again, if I click here, okay, it shows you the voltage across VR is 5 volts. Okay, the voltage across VR is 5 volts. Okay, you can observe. Okay, the voltage across VR is 5 volts currently. Why? Because I don't have any switch here. It is direct connection. Okay, now what I will do is I will add the switch. So in order to add that switch, I have to first delete this wire. Okay, or remove this wire. Okay, so this wire I have removed. Now I will add a switch. Okay, so I will add a switch. To add that switch, again you have to go to components. Okay, switches. Okay, get this. Okay, this is one type of switch. Okay, it is a single pole single throw switch, which is based on a CMOS, you can say MOSFET. Okay, it's based on a MOSFET. Okay, okay, so I will arrange it like this. Okay, now okay, so this is a switch. Okay, like this. It is a single pole and only one throw is there. There is one input here on the top side and here, okay, bottom side, second input. But this switch, because this is a MOSFET, okay, it requires voltage sources for its operation. Okay, so you have a VDD, you have a VSS and a ground. And at what rate this switch is going to keep opening and closing, okay, that is controlled by this input pin. Okay, that is controlled by this input pin. Okay, so how to connect them? Okay, I will connect this side here to one input. I will connect this. Okay, I'll just go downside. Okay, so this is my switch connection. Next I have to have a VSS, VDD and ground connection. Okay, so ground is direct ground, so that you can connect it directly. VDD and VSS, normally if you remember power supplies, okay, VDD and VSS are VDD will be positive and VSS will be negative. Okay, so for that you can create some voltage sources. Okay, so we'll go back. I will get some voltage source. Okay, I will get 3 voltage sources, V2, here V3, V4. Okay, I will ground them. Okay, ground this, ground this, ground this. I will give some value. Okay, now for this switch to operate, the general values that are given. Okay, if you want to see the general values, you can open the test bench for this. Okay, you can just click on here, get a test bench. Okay, now this is the test bench to test the switch. Okay, normally the value of VDD and VSS, if you see, this is 15 volts minus 15 volts. Okay, and trigger pulse is around 3.3 volts. Okay, so same thing we will use in our circuit. Okay, so you have to have a 15 volts positive, then 15 volts negative. Okay, and then I will have a pulse signal, okay, of 3.3 volts. Okay, initial 0 value. Okay, all these parameters you can check in the internet. Okay, how to use these parameters. What our concern here is how to or try to understand the waveform that is generated, okay, using the switch. Okay, so this is there. Okay, so I will connect them now. So in order to connect them, I will create nodes. Okay, so I will create a node called as VDD1. Okay, I'm going to create a node called as VDD1. Okay, I will press OK, and then first I will press here, and then I will press here. What does this mean is that I'm connecting this point, okay, this point here with this point. Okay, same way I will create one more node called as VSS1. Okay, you can give any name, okay, but just so we can understand it is VSS, I am giving VSS1. Okay, next you have this pulse that has to be given to this input. Okay, what I can do is I can just drag this. Drag. Okay, I'll drag it here and then connect here. That. Okay, so now we will simulate and understand what happens. Okay, I'll just close this part. Okay, so now if you see the waveform, okay, now if you see the waveform, it is still now voltage across VR1, sorry, voltage across VR, but now it is switching. Okay, but now it is switching. Now the switching is happening between 0 volts and 5 volts. Okay, now again it is not exactly 5 volts, it is around 4.4 volts that you are getting here. Okay, if you see top side here, my voltage across the load, okay, it is changing from 0 to positive value. Okay, the positive value is around 4.4 volts. The remaining voltage, okay, like 5 minus 4.4, if you do around 0.6 volts, it is getting absorbed by that switch. Okay, so if you go back here and if you insert the values, okay, so here I have a 5 volt supply, okay, and here across the load I am getting 4.6 whenever my switch closes. Okay, I am getting 4.6, sorry, 4.4 whenever my switch closes. The remaining 0.6 volts which is there, that is getting absorbed by this switch. Okay, normally switches are not ideal. Okay, they will consume some power. Okay, and because of that the 0.6 volts is getting consumed by this switch. Okay, now if you change the switch, the value will change. Okay, it depends on what switch you are using. For our case it is absorbing around 0.6 volts. Okay, okay, so next what we will do is, what now what we have got is, it is switching from 0 to positive value. Next what I want is, I want a switching from positive as well as negative. Okay, so now that we will try to achieve. Okay, so I will open this. So next what we will do is, we will try to simulate, okay, this part. Okay, we will try to simulate this part where you have two voltage sources and two switches. Okay, okay, so what I have to do is, I have to add a voltage source, okay, here, and then one more switch I have to add. Okay, same switch I will take. Okay, connect it here with this. Okay, for similarity I will drag this bottom side. Cut this part. Okay, so it looks same thing. What I have done is I have just drag it downside. Okay, the common point is here, same way, and then I will connect the other part. Okay, there is some. Okay, so connect this here, connect it here, connect the switch. Okay, then give power supply to your switch. Okay, there is a VDD1. Sorry, there is a VDD1. Okay, then there is a VSS1. Okay, so that will also add VSS1. Okay, the value of VDD and VSS for both my switches will remain same. Okay, why? Because it is same, power supply doesn't change. Okay, okay, I copied this pulse source downside. Okay, the only thing I will make change is then I will add a delay here. Okay, so that both my switches are not turning on at the same time, they will turn on alternatively. Okay, so now we will observe. Okay, save this and run. Okay, there is a value problem. Okay, I did not give the voltage source value, right? If you observe here, there is a voltage source whose value I have not defined. Okay, so here I have to write 5 volts. Okay, previously what we have discussed is we have to keep our voltage V1, V2 same, right? Your voltage sources V1 and V2 should be same. Okay, and S1 and S2 should also be same, so that you get a symmetric waveform, right? So same thing we will do. So my this top side voltage is also 5, bottom side also is 5, and the same switch I am using. Okay, with same parameters, but the only thing is this switch is going to turn on first and the second switch is going to turn on next. Okay, after a delay. Okay, so this I will run, plot this. Okay, so here if you see, I will zoom out. Okay, I will just change the color. Okay, so here you can see in the previous case what was happening, I had a voltage from 0 to positive value, right? But now what is happening, it is going positive here. You can see it is 4.5 volts during this cycle. Then after this time 5 millisecond, it is going bottom. Okay, minus 4.5, you can see it. So there is an alternate change between positive and the negative side. Okay, so this you have to observe. Okay, so that is the functionality of this. Okay, and all depends on how you manipulate these switches. Okay, how you manipulate these switches. Now one last thing which I want to show you is the duty cycle. Okay, how you can change the duty cycle. Now here you can see it is symmetric, right? The positive and the negative cycles are same. So you can see the duty cycle is around 50%. Okay, it is on for half cycle, off for half cycle. If you want to manipulate the duty cycle, okay, what you have to do is you have to change the value of this on time and off time. Okay, you have to change the value of on time and off time. Okay, so that one thing we will do. Okay, so it is going to be on for 4 millisecond. Okay, if you do 4 millisecond and then after 4 millisecond the other one should turn on. Okay, so here I will add a 4 millisecond delay. So after 4 millisecond the next we can say it is going to be on for 6 millisecond. Okay, so that we will see. We'll see what happens. Save, build. Okay, so here you can see there is a change in the on time. Okay, now we have run it again, but now what happens, instead of getting 50% on 50% off, it is on for 4 millisecond and off for 6 millisecond. Okay, if you can observe this part, this is 4 millisecond, 0 to 4 millisecond, right? It is on for 4 millisecond and off for 6 millisecond. Okay, so I'm able to change the duty cycle of my AC signal, okay, by changing the time parameter of my switches. Okay, so this one thing you can observe.